We're all here. Thank you so much for coming to the Women's Health Workshop. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Hope you guys had an awesome weekend. What a beautiful 80-degree day, right? Absolutely amazing. Confession, when we first talked about doing a women's health program workshop, I was terrified, right? And then I found out that it's a full moon today too. So I was like, oh, great. Here we go. But no, obviously very important information. When it comes to the family health, women are in charge. Typically, the women are the ones who are making the health decisions. So that's why it's vital that you ladies, take in this information and bring it to your families and just keep trickling up the ladder. Absolutely amazing health can benefit in your family. When it comes to men, if a man comes to Christ, 83% of the family will go to Christ too. But for when it comes to women, that's the same for health. So we all got to be on board to bring the men along, right? I know they're stubborn, but we gotta get them going, right? You ladies live longer than men, so there's proof right there. So really, the whole point of this is just really empower you and give you some practical tools. I don't have all the answers. I'm just going to put that out there for you. The goal is just to give you some practical tools to add into your life and make healthy choices. So how am I qualified to talk about women's health? Well, I married a woman, for one, which is good. I've had a front row seat to my wife, and I saw her grow babies in her stomach and then push them out of her body and then feed them and then nurture them and teach them, and it's just the most amazing thing I've seen. So women, you are amazing. Way greater than what the men do, right? So we can lift things up, right? We can open pickle jars and things like that, but you ladies are a whole nother level. Raised by a mother too, right? I have a mother. I work with two amazing women, right? They sorry, they keep me very humble, right? They keep me very well informed too on all the women's stuff. So it's great to have them here. 15 years of clinical experience. So patient base is 60% or higher when it comes to women. So I've been able to help guide ladies along the direction of health, and it's a complete honor. So what I'm not going to do is mansplain everything, right? Not going to do that to you. I'm not going to talk over any of your experiences you've had. I'm not going to pretend that I know everything about being a woman or anything like that. Like I said, I bring 15 years of clinical experience to the table. I'm not just going to give you some vague advice like it's just your hormones or just balance your hormones. I'm sure you're sick of hearing that, right? And there's really no pressure to share anything. There's just the whole point of this, just like a safe space for all us to learn and just help move us all in the right direction. So what I can say is that there's some common frustrations when it comes to women today, right? Your constant pressure just to do it all. You're raising children, you have to stay fit, right? You have to look good, you have to clean, you have to be emotionally balanced. Like there's just a lot that women basically have to take on. But being dismissed in the workplace, something like that, maybe not taken too seriously. All the invisible labor that you do behind the scenes that you get no credit for whatsoever. Unrealistic body or beauty standards. You're supposed to be able to, be natural but flawless, and you got to be strong but not too strong. Like there's that fine balance that you ladies have to deal with. And then gaslighting. So your labs are normal, but I still feel awful. Like we need some answers. So that's the whole point of this today, is just get some answers. The sad reality though is our antidepressants are skyrocketing, right? Everybody agree with that? Diabetes is out of control. 1 out of 3 people are typically diabetic now. 1 out of 3 are diagnosed with cancer. A third of the U.S. are obese now. Not just overweight, but obese. And then 600,000 people are dying from heart disease. That's 1 out of 4 deaths. So So we got to make a change. We got to start turning. Obviously, these numbers are going in the wrong direction, and these are really old numbers too that I've had from past PowerPoints and stuff. So it's 12, 13 years later. I'm sure the numbers are even even worse. So, has anybody seen this painting before? Anybody know what the name of it is? Who has seen it? I heard this in a sermon the other day. The painting is called Checkmate, right? It was in the Louvre for years, and then someone actually bought it in 1989, so it's a private collection now. But what it is, it's the devil playing chess against this guy. You can tell he's down on his luck. Basically, he's arrogant, and he's like, I got this guy cornered, his checkmate, right? And there's an angel there overlooking. But when it was in the Louvre, this master chess player, world champion, was walking through the Louvre, and he was in the tour, and they went, this is checkmate, blah, 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 down on his luck, the devil's going to win, all this stuff. And so the tour went on, and the world chess player champion stayed and stared at this thing for a while. And the tour guide's like, come on, let's go. And he looked and looked and looked. He's like, this isn't checkmate, right? He said, I'm a world class, chess player and world champion. He said the king has one more move, right? So Jesus, right, the king, he's got one more move in this scenario that could take out the devil. So wherever you're at in your health, you have one more move. You're never at the end. You can take the next level. There's another move you can do. We can start pivoting as much as we can. So I got goosebumps when I heard that and saw it, and I had to look it up, had to save it and keep it for myself. So nice little reminder. So I don't like to get into politics a lot, but I've been really excited with RFK Jr. being involved in politics because he's been on board with all the stuff that we've been trying to teach for years now. It's like, we need to question this. Why are these numbers so high? Why is our food so sickening to us? Why are we on all these medications? Why are there so many toxic chemicals in vaccines? Why does a mom say it was this that caused it and the medicine is saying that it's not, right? So I always like to get on board, but Secretary Kennedy, who's the Health and Human Services Secretary now, he had a great message to all the moms out there yesterday. So today we honor you, the powerful, nurturing, relentless force behind our families and communities. You carry generations on your shoulders with grace, courage, and unwavering love. You are the heart of this movement. Your spirit to commitment to our children is its soul. So he knows that the ladies make the health decisions, right? So he's looking to get the ladies and Maha moms on board, and we can just take the whole country by storm and clean up our foods and clean up our medicine and clean up our act so we can actually literally be healthy again. So that's a political campaign I can definitely get on board. So here's a couple of the top women's health topics in the news they've been talking about lately. Toxic ingredients in beauty products and body products. Our skin is our biggest organ, right? And you ladies have to slather on all kinds of makeup and lotions and potions and all this stuff, and it literally goes into our bloodstream within microseconds. So it's hormone disrupting. It's formaldehyde releasing chemicals that we're putting on our skin. So somehow we have to clean that up as well. Weight loss drugs. Boom, like we got Ozempic out there now and all these other GLP-1 receptor agonists. So everybody's like, oh, I'm overweight, but I can just take this pill now and lose weight. There's a ton of side effects that are horrible when it comes to these things. So we're really just creating it with our bad food, and then we're just drugging it. So it's just a vicious cycle. The quality of food, hormone disruptors, like I said, stress, burnout, that invisible load I was telling you about, how everything you ladies do behind the scenes that doesn't get any praise, the medical misinformation, gender gaps, stuff like that. We just have to obviously get to the cause. These are some of the side effects when it comes to these drugs. The weight loss drugs is there's actually been shown there's intestinal blockages that are happening when you're on this medication. gastroparesis, which is basically delayed stomach emptying. You get this Ozempic face. It's like because you lose weight so fast that your skin sags and you look like you've aged quite a bit. The muscle mass reduction. So not only are you losing fat, but you're also losing muscle mass. Our hearts are made out of muscle, kind of important to have. So we're losing weight because the muscles being reduced as well, which leads to posture issues and strength issues and walking and things like that. Increased risk of pancreatitis and gallbladder disease, potential for thyroid tumors we're finding out. All these things are what the FDA has acknowledged. There's even been lawsuits that have been put out to make sure the manufacturers start changing, and nothing's really changing. They're like, well, we're making a lot of money on this drug, so we're going to keep pushing as much as possible. Arthritis has been showing up in joint pain, and then there's also been some counterfeit drugs out there too. So if you're just ordering the stuff on a random website and it's coming from a different country and you're taking it, it could be something completely off and even worse.
Is that for all of them? Like all the weight loss ones?
That one's specific for the GLP ones, not just Ozempic. Yeah. So yeah. Hormones 101. So what everybody should know, this isn't probably anything new to you ladies, but the key hormones, estrogen, is affecting mood, skin, energy, bone density, menstrual cycles. Progesterone supports your calm, sleep, and reproductive balance. Cortisol, that's our stress hormones that we're a part of. When it's too high, it blocks the fat burning, disrupts sleep, and increases anxiety. So we're all in this fight or flight mode, but we have to do certain things to change that to get us to rest and digest. Our insulin, right blood sugar imbalances, continued weight gain and energy crashes, thyroid hormones and stuff like that, control metabolism, body temp, and energy. It's also the basis of the hormones that are important. And these hormones are really just our messengers. They're really just telling our bodies what to do, so they are very important. A lot of our hormones and stuff like that are made from fats that we eat or cholesterol that we take in, and with all of our non-fat and low cholesterol foods, our hormones have been spiraling out of control because it has nothing to be built upon. So some of the symptoms that we've been seeing is fatigue and brain fog and bloating and irregular cycles, mood swings, irritability, anxiety, weight gain, poor sleep, difficulty staying asleep. So anybody have any of these? Right? Just throws everything off. So stress, poor sleep, sugar, toxins. So it's like the things that are causing these things are also causing more dysregulation, more symptoms. We do have a handout. If we can get, why don't we get those out? So I know there's a lot of information, but there's 3 pages. The first one is a hormone-friendly food chart. So we can just start, small little changes. Just take these foods or take these fats, take these proteins, and you can kind of make better decisions when you're walking through the grocery store.
Keep all 3 of them. Yeah, it's okay.
Actually, can I have a set?
Oh.
Thank you. Put your name on it. Yeah, so the first category is first category for the hormone-friendly food chart is proteins. So this is going to be supporting hormone building blocks and balancing the sugar. Eggs are amazing, so we got some eggs back there, which I love. Organic chicken, wild-caught fatty fish like the salmon, the mackerel, the sardines, grass-fed beef. So there's a huge resurgence of people eating meat again, which is fantastic. It's been kind of demonized for the last couple decades since they said it's the meat that's causing the problems, but it's really what we did to the meat we filled it full of antibiotics. We made the cow eat a bunch of grains and created inflammatory issues. So it's just really cool to see this resurgence of we do need protein, we do need to eat meat. That'll bring the strength back and bring the fats back and stuff like that. Lentils and legumes also, pumpkin seeds great, hemp seeds another one. Healthy fats, avocados, which I love. Extra virgin olive oil and coconut oil, those are the great oils that you can use. I would just put olive oil on top of things rather than cooking with it. I would cook with the coconut oil, so if you got that, as soon as you cook olive oil, it can definitely smoke and it turns a bit rancid, so use the coconut oil instead. Beef tallow is making a comeback too, so I don't know if any ladies here grew up with that. It's all coming back, which is great. You're supposed to put it on your skin too and all that stuff. If you want to go that far, it's supposed to be really good for the collagen and whatnot. Butter, of course, ghee, chia seeds, flax seeds. The fiber-rich carbs support estrogen detox and gut health. So the green leafy vegetables, so spinach and kale. I think we got some spinach in there too, right?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, it's funny how at Mother's Day, we everybody came to our house, so we always make a little extra healthier food on the side, and there's something green, and all the dads are like, ugh, green, ugh, eat it. Green leafy vegetables, so cruciferous veggies, the broccoli, the cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, sweet potatoes, berries are great, low on the glycemic index, not a lot of sugar. Apples and pears with the skin, quinoa, that's going to be more like a pseudo grain for that. These are all great for hormone-friendly food charts. A little extra there, fermented foods, I'm a big fan of. We did a whole gut workshop on fermented foods and how good it is for your gut. Sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir, bone broth I love. I love a bone broth protein that my buddy Josh Axe made. He has it at Health Hut. It's a powder. I usually throw that in my smoothies too. It's the bone broth, really good for the health, your gut health. Herbal teas, so raspberry leaf, all the dandelions that are popping up that everybody are spraying toxic chemicals on to kill, those are extremely healthy for us. So if you want to boil those things and make a tea, very healthy, spearmint, and then ashwagandha and maca are other supportive hormone supports. So yeah. To get us to help bring those cortisol levels down, we have looking at our posture, looking at our breath, nervous system, how to reset all that. Super important. I've adjusted all of you ladies, so I've seen everybody come in, and usually you're full of stress, and you breathe with these external muscles, and your muscles are pulling out because you're so stressed from the day and you want to get adjusted, but you're like this. Right? So what we need to do is lower those cortisol levels and just allow those muscles to relax. We really should be breathing, with the diaphragm, with our belly breathing, rather than with our chest muscles lifting up those rib cages. So simple posture resets are in here. The whole goal is just to calm the nervous system, reset the nervous system throughout the day, doing these little posture checks, because I'm sure you end up like this over time, and you just have to remind yourself, whether it's a watch or a timer on your phone, just to be like, check your posture, So roll those shoulders back. They can't be forward, because as soon as those shoulders roll, then the head goes forward, and you can't breathe, and you're stressing. You're throwing in that flight or fight response and increasing the cortisol. So the ears should be right over those straps. The shoulders should be relaxed. Rib cage right over the pelvis. You can do the standing or seated at your computer, and just engaging that core lightly. Those are just simple posture checks you can do throughout the day, because you really need a nice plumb line. As soon as you get into these different postures, that throws off the whole nervous system, and everything gets thrown off. So use a doorway to open up that chest. You can get your arms in there and really stretch out. It's called Brugger's. Instead of this position, you're doing the opposites. You're bringing your head back and arms back, stretching all that out, and then getting more oxygen back into your lungs. You can do the wall angels. So when you get on a wall, basically your back of your hands and your elbows are on the wall, and you just slide them up and down as much as you can. It's a good stretch. You can even do some pelvic tilt. So when you're sitting, you're just kind of rocking your pelvic back and forth, and you're finding that kind of happy medium where your tailbone sits down a little bit and just starts to relax, take that pressure off your lower back. Some breath work here too. So again, we're trying to lower the cholesterols, and breathing exercises have shown to really reduce the cortisol levels. Since we're running around, we got news and stress and everything happening. If you just kind of go through some breath work, the easiest thing to do is do the posture check, and then you deeply inhale with your belly, for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, and then exhale slowly, and you can see like your belly, moving up and down rather than your chest, trying to breathe. So makes a huge difference, changing you from flight or fight down to rest and digest. Okay. Next one is the nutritional hormone support. We went over a little bit of that already. Actually, we did go over that one already. So that one's simple. But managing that stress, so chronic stress raises cortisol, which suppresses the progesterone and thyroid. Over time, this leads to belly fat, brain fog, burnout, irregular cycle or PMS, sleep issues, waking up at 2-3 o'clock in the morning and just being wired. So yeah, you can do 5 minutes sunlight in the morning. I like to wake up. My alarm clock's on the other side of the room, so I have to get up and go turn it off. Make coffee. Now that it's nice out and bright in the morning, you can go to the window and just look at the sun, get some sunlight in your eyeballs, which is good. Breath work or grounding. I've got a grounding sheet that's hooked up to my grounding outlet, which helps basically get me grounded back to the earth, which you can get. There's sheets or pads, and there's little silver thread that goes through it, and it helps you ground. The 10-minute walk after meals to get things digested and get things moving. Evening routine tips. So power down those screens, so we're all like this, laying in bed. So if you read a book, paper book, rather than being on a digital thing, that makes a big difference. We got a lot of blue blockers, I'm sure you've seen. That works as well. If you can get into magnesium-rich foods and supplements, just get into that whole, wind down ritual so that you can, train your body to fall asleep at this time more often. So simple, right? Totally simple. So some people are like, yeah, I stay up to 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, what are you doing? That doesn't work. So basically, your body cannot heal in a stress state, so you must slow down and get it to rebalance here. Now for the men, okay. So I told you I do a little husband training for all of you. So I did just go to a men's Christian retreat a week or two ago, and it was actually quite amazing. Because a lot of us just like to bury everything and not let anything out, and we're totally fine. We put that face on. But it was kind of interesting that every single male basically had the same inner fears, right? But they don't let anybody know. Like wow, I never would have thought that guy, had that fear. He looks like he's the most confident person you can think of or seen. But basically, it was kind of interesting because, at one point we all had these big dreams, and somewhere along the line we didn't reach those things, and we kind of turned into this new normal. So really deep down, we kind of mourn the fact that we didn't make it to that level. So we kind of feel inadequate, and we just feel like we let everybody down, but we bury it for sure. So a lot of these guys felt like emotional support didn't really come from our father. Again, things that you never really think that someone would say. We feel the weight of being like the protector. We struggle with that, or even the provider too. So these are just like inner things that the guys were going through. So for when it comes to husband training, if you keep that in mind, we do want to better ourselves. So to train your husband, right? Puppy's crossed out, it's husband. So some gentle ways of influence. Number one, we follow a lot. So again, ladies, you guys are the deciders on health. So if you model the behavior, we like to kind of follow along. So actions speak louder, right? So if you mirror the self-care tone, we're going to follow along for sure. If you can make it more of a game, so like, renaming vegetables, like I said, all the dads were like, I don't want anything green. Well, if you say that broccoli is tiny trees of testosterone, like we might give it a try. Sweet potatoes are these power carbs, so just little stuff like that is going to boost muscle and manhood. So just help gentle little nudges and guidance along the way. Turn chores into more of a cardio thing. So like hey, you carry this thing of laundry up the stairs. It's like cardio. You're getting stronger. It's functional fitness. Or mowing the lawn is outdoor interval training. We like to turn it into a game, right? We want to win all the time. Replace chips with almonds and protein snacks. If you tell them that like Tom Brady eats this as snacks, we might make that change. So we're a little more on that side of things. And then, like I said, make a competition out of it. So step challenges, push-up contests, smoothie taste-offs, stuff like that. So my daughter's got a really good friend who loves to do workouts all the time. So like they're on Facebook together or FaceTime and like doing little push-ups and stuff like that. So I like to jump in there too and do my push-ups. I always beat them. It's so much fun. So like we always want to turn into a competition. For some reason, like a month or two ago, I was like, what's the Murph workout? Does anybody know what the Murph workout is? It's this Lieutenant Murphy. He did a couple of tours in Afghanistan. He passed away. He was killed in 2009, I think. But he did this workout where he would wear his armored vest, which was about 20 pounds, and he would do 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 air squats. But we also do a mile run before and after. So they basically turned this into a workout every single Memorial Day morning. So it's coming up in a little bit. But I was like, I wonder what it is. I looked it up and I was like, I could probably try to do this. And so I took my time. It took me a couple hours just to do the 100, 200, and 300. And then like a couple days later, we drove to Colorado and I was trying to feed myself and I couldn't get my arm to my mouth. So like we do like a challenge, but I probably should have paced myself a little bit, maybe do 20, 25 and build it up. Anyways, my neighbor too, he's like, I've done them all the time. I would love for someone to do it with me. So him and I were supposed to do it Memorial Day morning, the whole thing. So my 20 pound weight vest came in the mail over the weekend. It's heavy. so we'll see how I adjust on that Tuesday morning. Exactly. I get it. But yeah, we'll have to have Dr. Rydman do all the adjusting on that Tuesday maybe. But yeah, another workout you could do to help get your health goals is the HIIT training. We did a little workout a year or two ago outside where we did 10, 20-second workouts. But whatever workout that you like to do, just add it in and just bring it up to the higher intensity, rather than running on a treadmill or walking on a treadmill for hours, which is mind-numbing. You can make it again a little more fun if you like to sprint or cycle or do climbing stairs and stuff like that. Just try to increase the intensity of it. My wife a couple months ago signed up for bar. Bar is that, and she's like, I'm just gonna give it a try, but she didn't know that it had to be a 3-month commitment. So she was so angry when she found this out. And I'm like, just do it for 3 months. And she's like, I'm just gonna sit in the back. I'm just gonna do my workout and leave. I'm not gonna make any friends. She's got tons of friends, she got a bunch of rhubarb from someone the other day. They put her birthday, like happy birthday Victoria, on the wall. It was hilarious. I love it. So she's hooked on it now too. So sometimes it's just about accountability and getting a group of people together. So if you want an easier way out on healthy living, of course, we've got the Davis Nutrition stuff. Dr. Davis did a fantastic job of formatting all these things. And he got all 4 certifications, which is very hard to do, and it's not very cheap. So everything's from the United States, so we're not outsourcing anything like that. It's super organic, super healthy, and the formulations, like I said, are incredible. These are one of the things that I started off with years ago was well, how can I eat more green? So I'm just going to take it in a powder form. It was really good for digestion. I felt a lot better, skin got better. Energy went up, sleep went up, styles like that. And this one actually tastes good. This one tastes like watermelon. When they first came out, they literally tasted like pond water. And we would choke it down, but we would love it because we knew what it was doing for us. The reds are just cheating. I mean, it's like Kool-Aid. It's so good to take, and it's all the good stuff in there. So that's his. We have Oxyburn and Keto Drops and Raspberry Ketones, Blood Sugar Balance. All he's got tons of amazing things just to help take you to the next level of whatever health goal you want. If you use the Dr. Chad 15 off, you get another percentage off. So I think a lot of people here are already taking the Core 4 and things like that. But if you're not, give it a try. And these are the four certifications that he ended up getting for sure. So let me talk about dropping in. Okay, so I recently went to a seminar a month ago or so, adjusting seminar. It was actually, again, quite incredible. These guys are from the United States, but they live in Barcelona. They practice in Barcelona, but they actually developed this really easy, smooth way of adjusting everybody. Like I said, everybody comes in here stressed out, muscles are tense, breathing with your external muscles. But the goal really is what's called dropping in. So the doctor's got to be dropped in, the patient's got to be dropped in, and it's a whole way of just being totally relaxed and ready to receive the adjustment. So we had 150 docs and students, and we had chairs lined up all the way around in a big horseshoe. And half were sitting in the chair and half were behind the chair, doing the adjustments. And basically everybody had to be silent. Everybody had to be dropped in to receive the adjustment. But the way you do it is just visualizing, gratitude. It's like thinking of something that just brings you pure pleasure. For me, it's just hearing my daughters laugh. For some reason, it just gets me every single time. It just throws me into complete gratitude. It just allows me to be completely relaxed. They gave me an adjustment. They gave me cervical. They did an occiput lift. What else? I think there's a lumbar, side posture they did. But the first 2 were just incredible because normally you're talking about whatever else, and you're stressed out, and then you kind of get an adjustment, right? And it really hurts because it stings. But the whole focus of this is just being totally relaxed and allowing that adjustment just to happen, so the whole nervous system can just reset. So if we can challenge each other not to talk, of course we like to talk about what's going on in life, but maybe just for half a second, we just both kind of go, and you just go with complete gratitude. It's just like the breathing techniques, just breathe in slow, breathe out slow, just trust and relax, right? It'll allow that adjustment just to flow right through. So really important stuff. As everybody remembers, every level of spine coordinates with a certain part of your body. As soon as a bone's just out of alignment, it puts pressure on those nerves, and that nerve controls a certain area. It could be a gland, it could be an organ, it could be a different body part, but we want 100% flow to every single organ at all times so that everybody can function and heal like they're supposed to and have the health that they deserve. Any symptoms can arise, any of these symptoms for sure with subluxation. So everybody here is getting adjusted. But if you know of anybody who needs to know this information, we are here. if they don't live in the area, we will get them to a chiropractor. I'll do the research to find whatever office is closest, to our type of care or whatever they want. There's a lot of pain-based care. There's a lot of PI cases out there, but our focus is obviously on wellness and structural alignment through our care here. So this is a normal, healthy neck, right? Spinal cord is nice and relaxed. The disc space is nice and big. This is a straight neck where you can see the spinal cord is actually stretching and compressing. Over years, this will definitely degenerate and decay. But our medical system will say this is totally normal and you're totally healthy. But the communication that happens, the transmission of signals through the spinal cord is severely diminished when it's a straight neck like that. So it might show up on like a scan, right? So we want to see as much white as possible. We want to get rid of as much red as we can. So, couple little action steps here is try to take one thing from today and just try to add it into your life. You're welcome to share it with anybody or talk to your spouse about it. But the goal is just to take one extra step and make those healthy choices. If you can plan out your day, I kind of made a kind of a guideline through the day. Little checkpoints that you can just add in. You can add into your calendar, but little things along the way, rather than just getting taken out by total stress and emails and the news and the negativity. So if you can just recheck yourself back into a little routine, that can go a long ways to make healthy choices, right? So sunlight, breath, protein, movement, tech boundary is a huge one. I'm a big fan on journaling. Whatever thoughts are going in the head, like I said, a lot of men like to just hide it in and not talk about it. But if you just vomit it out onto a journal and just get it out, and please don't show anybody because you can scare people, but just rip it up and burn it or something like that. It does feel a lot better to get that stuff out instead of holding it all in. So yeah, take care of your body and your body will take care of you. So I love it. Anybody here have any questions?
What do your legs up on the wall do?
That is an old Navy SEAL trick. So helps just bring the blood, back to the core, and just helps, rebalance everything. So it's a trick for falling asleep too, where you can even do it on like a chair, where your calves are on the chair and then your thighs and then your back is on the floor. Mm-hmm. You can take like little power naps that way too. So yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Any other questions?
How would you recommend we talk to our husbands about getting a sauna?
Yeah.
just to
Sometimes they just arrive at the door.
Friend,
Yeah.
Buy it for Father's Day.
Yeah, there you go.
Right. Yeah. There are smaller versions, like you can use like a chair, and it's like a reflective material that goes, and there's little holes where you can get your hands out and like use a remote, and there's a little heater under the chair. You can start with that. Those things are under $200 at one point, but yeah, typically like a hot tub and stuff like that, people will buy. They use it for a little bit and then they just let it collect dust. So, but yeah, saunas are great. Those things are really good for reducing stress and blood pressure and weight and stuff like that. Norway and Sweden and all those guys, they almost do that daily for 20 minutes. And if you can add a cold plunge into that too, you go from the hot to the cold and go back and forth. It's better than a massage. So super fun.
Is that similar with the sauna and the red light thing?
Red light therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's infrared, and then saunas, and then they usually have a red light in there. That's
Do you guys do that here?
We don't have one. We should. Maybe we should just show up one day. Yeah. Yeah. But there are red lights, like almost like those makeup mirrors, but they're red lights that just shine on you. They have those too. So, or elbows or wrists or shoulders, you can get wraps that vibrate and have infrared and pierces a little bit more. So Yeah,
Amazon
super fun.
has them, but they're expensive.
Right.
And there's, I don't remember the science behind it. Maybe you know, there's near and far wavelengths. Okay. I forget which one is which, but not all red lights are created equal.
Right.
That's all I remember.
Yeah, any little thing helps. So obviously, a lot of people will be like, "Well, I tried this." Well, it's just like working out. You can go work out, and like, well, I didn't do anything. But if you did it consistent for 6 months, you're like, oh, there's a rib, or I feel a lot better. So you just have to stick to it. Consistently make a big difference. So cool.
How about colostrum?
Yeah, that was a little popular for a bit. I think it came from bovine, didn't they? So
Yeah.
it's like it's not human or anything. So I didn't do enough research to figure out if it was healthy enough for human consumption, because like how it goes is like we drink cow's milk, and the cow's milk proteins are way bigger than what we're used to, so we get a lot of mucousy and stuff like that. So it's just is it healthy for us or is it bad? Like the cow's milk is supposed to make a calf which is this big into a big old cow. So what if we drink too much of that? Or is that a reason why obesity is so high? But yeah, colostrum might be a little more on the safer side.
What about the hydrogen infused like tumbler things? What about those?
Yeah, I've gotten a couple questions on that lately. I never personally tried it. Again, for a while they were really pushing it, and it seemed like it was on every health podcast I could think of, and it seemed like a legit direction we could go. And then they just like fell off the face of the earth. I haven't gotten any ads or talked about it.
I just saw one not long ago, like on Pinterest.
Yeah, see.
Or something, and I was like, huh.
Yeah.
So I saved it. But...
Yeah, there's something about the thing in the bottom wears out quick, and instead of using that thing, you can do tablets instead. So there's different versions, but again, I usually like to try things out for myself before I recommend anything. And that's one thing I didn't try, but I think it was in one of my, carts or something like that, and like I just never hit the button.
Yeah.
I'm like, do I really need this? I got plenty of other stuff. Cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it. Anybody need more quiche?
That was good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Jolie, for bringing the quiche. Ooh. I mean, I'll take one. I didn't get one yet.
I know which one you're watching.
Hopefully the greenest one. Spinach one.
That one has 4 pieces.
Oh, there you go. Cool. Well, yeah. Any other questions, thoughts? No. Any big takeaway so far?
I like the sheets so that you can take them home and actually look at them and mark some things down that you're going to try.
Perfect. Love it.
Yeah.
Next month, the plan is to do men's health, and Dr. Reinemann's going to do it. What do you think about that?
There'll be 2 men here.
Right, exactly. That's the problem.
Yeah, one
Right.
will not be my either.
Work on the subtle guidance.
Can they bring your bourbon?
We,
We've,
we've-
way we get them all here.
Right?
we've done workshops when I included wine and stuff like that, but we should have wine. Yeah, like a Cannonau wine. Back